Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a big update in regards to the geopolitical situation potentially impacting cryptocurrency and the absolutely critical timing of the 4 year cycle bull market. Some people saying the 4 year cycle is not going to exist anymore. And that might be true for Bitcoin, but for meme coins, I think it's still very important over the next 5 or 6 months to see a massive inflow of money and to really make sure you're able to lock in some serious profits. Taking a look at this, we've got Trump and the Russian leader Vladimir Putin meeting that happened in Alaska, and we've got the Ukrainian leader Vladimir Zelensky meeting Trump in the White House. So Trump is the mediator in all of this. If we get this geopolitical situation solved, that's only going to make the markets more bullish. That's only going to allow the United States to enact more aggressive monetary policy like the rate cuts. You look at the FedWatch tool, which is a predictor on rate cuts. We've got the critical mid-September Fed meeting with around, the last time I saw, 94% chance at least a 0.25% basis point cut. They're even saying, just like last September when we had the 0.5 basis cut, which is basically two cuts in one meeting, we might get that same thing happening depending on what the inflation number reads. The inflation number will be coming out right before. We're literally a month before the Fed meeting. It's on September 17th. The inflation rating should be around the 11th or 12th, the core inflation number, which is what the Fed looks at. And there have been rumors that maybe inflation is ticking up a little bit. So we hope that's not true, because we don't want to give Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve chairman any excuse to keep the rates where they're at 4.5%. We want them at least, even if, 4.25% rates is still pretty high, but it's very bullish to see any type of cut, especially when you look at the stock market right now at all-time highs. The cryptocurrency overall market cap, total market cap, around $4 trillion. We're going to be looking at a few different indicators. We have the geopolitical situation. If that gets solved, there's also rumors of possibly Trump, Zelensky, and Putin all meeting together next Friday. Imagine that happens, and this could end quickly. And they're saying we don't even want a ceasefire, like a 30-day ceasefire. We want to go straight to the peace deal. And if we go straight to the peace deal and rumor gets out, because normally you've got the ceasefire and then it's like, all right, well, it's 30 days. We'll see if it sticks. Normally the ceasefires get broken, or at least they have, they can tend to be flimsy. Imagine we go straight to the peace deal and they're like, out of nowhere, the peace deal's done. It's going to shoot up the market. I wouldn't be surprised if it shot Bitcoin to 125, 130K just with the bullish news of the Eastern European war being over. Even if it continues, we're still going to be fine when it comes to the bull market, because the markets have adjusted to the sanctions. And by the way, the sanctions on Russia that the United States still has imposed, and a lot of the Western countries have imposed when it comes to their exporting of oil, those will very likely be removed as part of a peace agreement, which will, at least for the next 5 or 6 months, lower energy prices even more, lower crude oil. So we're going to get even lower prices at the pump. People are going to have more disposable income. This is exactly what we want. And so think about how, and then we get the rate cuts on top of that. And we've got the bullish time with all the ETFs, with possibly the U.S. government committing to, they've got the crypto assets reserve. But what about the Bitcoin stockpile, the strategic Bitcoin reserve? Scott Bessent potentially misspoke when he said they're not going to allocate any funds towards it. We'll see if they end up doing it. But either way, even if we don't get the U.S. government buying Bitcoin, it's still so bullish, because we've got Trump's World Liberty Financial enthralled with Ethereum. They're buying 10,000 Bitcoin. They're buying a bunch of Ethereum. They have a huge portfolio. Their governance token is going to go live probably this fall, because they want to capitalize on the crazy bull run that we're potentially going to have. And likely it's already started. You look at Bitcoin stabilizing around 117K. The total crypto market cap at around $4 trillion. Taking a look at the last year, we did have a little bit of a downwick from the new all-time high in crypto, which was $4.17 trillion down to around $4 trillion, or right now it says $3.99 trillion. So we are basically at an all-time high, or near an all-time high, not an exact all-time high, but we will continue to set new all-time highs. If you guys are wondering in terms of, well, what is the context of this market cap? Where is it going to go? People are saying are possibly $10 trillion as a cycle high. Cycle top 10 trillion, maybe 12 trillion, bullish scenario 12 to 15 trillion. Right now you're looking at 47, in terms of altcoin season versus Bitcoin season. Still, it is Bitcoin season, even with the dominance falling. The BTC dominance at around, well, maybe it's gone back up a little bit at around 59%. We'll know when it's alt season, when it's under 50%. But people are saying, I mean, if Bitcoin goes to 180, 190K with its market cap already what it is, that's going to add another trillion, maybe $1.5 trillion in market cap to Bitcoin. So that could potentially boost the dominance while our alts are not falling, because it's just adding more total money into Bitcoin. Because imagine Bitcoin goes to 100. I mean, there's a lot of predictions that say anywhere from 170 to 230 now, people are saying. So 170 to 230, the expectation is mid-October. That's what I've heard. Maybe early November, and then you get the alt season after that. You're going to get the inflow. Now, will the inflow cooperate and happen the exact same way it has in the past? You can't really predict that, but there will be, and again, we saw what happened in 2021. I've discussed this, you can't predict the exact beautiful alt season because we had the double top in 2021. Now Bitcoin will probably act even different, more different, to where, yes, it will have retracements. Yes, the volatility is always going to be there. But because of the high market cap, along with the fact that Bitcoin has all the ETFs, it has, people are treating it as stored value. They're treating it as the digital version of gold, so they're not willing to sell it. There's going to be a lot more stability. I mean, just based on market cap, there's going to be a lot more stability with Bitcoin going forward as opposed to these alts. You have to separate Bitcoin from the alts, and especially from a lot of the alts that we're talking about, which is very low market cap memes. Now, we hope those low market cap memes turn into high market cap memes within the next 6 months, but still, any meme is 10 to 1,000 times more risky than Bitcoin. Although maybe not Dogecoin, but right now the fear and greed, I don't think the fear and greed is a great indicator. Right now it's at 57, so it's neutral, so no real problem. Obviously, you could say, well, when it's extreme greed, I mean, and this is true, this is kind of when the alts highs were back in 2024. This is the yearly high, yearly low. And I mean, it is kind of a selling indicator to a degree, but my guess is we're going to stay in extreme greed for a while just because it's the nature of a bull market. And so people they're going to see that, and then they're going to say, is it time to sell? Well, no. And it's all contextualized based on the coins that you own. And then the yearly low, March 10th. Honestly, in terms of like the local low within the last year, the best time to buy at least the altcoins that I'm in was right around April 10th. So it would have been a month after this printed at around 15. This is more based on Bitcoin, the fear and greed, because Bitcoin has such a high command. I mean, it's 58, 59% dominance right now. It was 63, 64% dominance. It's over half of the total market cap of cryptocurrencies. So it's going to have an extreme, if Bitcoin goes down, you're going to see the fear and greed go up or go down significantly. There's going to be more fearful. You've got the alt season index, again, 47. You can see recently, I mean, we had alt season, trickling up a little bit. You can see all these different coins, how they've performed. These are not even meme coins. Top 100 coins performance, the pump fund coin, yeah. But you've got all of that. You've got cycle market or market cycle indicators. Taking a look at some of these, the rainbow chart. The rainbow chart's been invalidated. The rainbow chart, I mean, they keep changing the rainbow chart. That's the problem. The rainbow chart's the OG indicator. But they keep having to shift it and manipulate the angle of it to try and keep it from being invalidated. So, I mean, I guess, I guess it's kind of funny to look at. You've got the Bitcoin dominance. You've got the Ethereum dominance. So we do have the Ethereum dominance finally tricking up. Can we see the last year in the Ethereum dominance? Yeah, so the Ethereum dominance fell all the way to around 9.3. Now it's back up to 13%. And they've only been tracking the Ethereum dominance. Okay, it goes back to 2017. So 2017, the absolute high in terms of a Bitcoin dominant or Ethereum dominance was around 20%. You had the 2021. I mean, Bitcoin was able to sustain a dominance of 18 to 20%. Hopefully this is Ethereum did fall to around a 7 to 8% dominance mid bear run in 2019, and it only fell to around 7.3. Basically the exact same low, and then it kicked back up to 18, 19. Now it's at 13. So it wouldn't surprise me if Ethereum added 5 or 6 more percent in terms of total dominance. It could go back up to 17 or 18%. I would say relatively easily. This is the CMC 100. Oh yeah, you should be able to invest into this. The CMC 100, the index with heavily. I mean, it's heavily weighted into Bitcoin for sure. But that fluctuates. That changes all the time. So based on the coins that enter the top 100 and things like that. So overall, I would say right now, what we're looking at is, if you want to go, I think September is going to be very bullish. I think October is going to be even more bullish. I mean, September, think about it. There's going to be a lot of people expecting the rate cuts to happen, possibly 2 rate cuts in one meeting. Even if we get 1 rate cut with the war ending, the war ends, the rate cuts happen, September turns bullish. Normally it's bearish except during a bull season. Then October is always bullish. And October could be the Bitcoin high, and that's when we could really capitalize on a lot of our memes exploding. I mean, the memes we still have the issue that we have with memes, especially the low cap ones. There's limited runway, so it becomes a problem to where we want the memes to be set up to where they don't need a miracle 100x for us to make significant gains. They maybe only need a 20x. I mean, look at the 4chan coin, for example. 4chan was hovering around $1.4, $1.5 million like a month and a half ago. And I was like, this coin really needs to kickstart. And now it's at around 11 million, 12 million. So imagine 4chan just gets a 10x before the actual blow off top. Now 4chan is suddenly at 100 million. Now 4chan just needs a 10x before, when we're entering the blow off meme cycle. It just needs 100x to get to, or a 10x to get to a billion. I think the moves before the actual blow off top are extremely critical for meme coins. And you take MOG, SPX, all those coins, it's compounded gains. They've already got so much gains, and on top of that, now you're going to get the retail flowing into it during the holiday season. I think it's setting up to be a holiday alt just run with Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it might even align perfectly. I mean, if the all-time high is in October, again, you can't predict, it's going to be a month later or 2 months later. Who knows? But it's probably going to happen right after it. So if it's before Halloween or after Halloween, or maybe it's early November, the alt season should be Thanksgiving, Christmas, hopefully. And then people talk about an extended cycle. I mean, it's possible it's not going to work out exactly, like it did in 2021 or like it did in 2017. But the fundamentals are there to where Bitcoin, it's new all-time high, new all-time high, new all-time high, new all-time high. It's very clear this is the ultimate bull run, this cycle. Even if you think cycles don't exist anymore, we did follow somewhat the last 4 years, a 4-year cycle, where, it saw its cycle bottom in 2022, and it's been trudging up ever since then, back to a new all-time high, surpassing 69K, surpassing 100K. Now the next big number is 150K. Then it's 200K. Will it reach 200K? Remember, everyone said it was going to hit 100K back in the 2021 run. It never did. So I don't know if it'll reach 200K, but, well, I shouldn't say it never did. Eventually it did, but it took another cycle. So this is really the reality of it. You've got so many bullish indicators. You've got its all-time high in the stock market. You've got this war ending, could potentially lower the price of crude oil, in turn giving more people disposable income. Imagine the alt season happens during the holiday season with all the retail FOMOing in. And that's where the memes go crazy. The money gets thrown into a lot of the memes after Bitcoin reaches its cycle top, which could be around 180, 200K. This is all stuff that can happen. We'll see. But again, if you're talking about right now the total market cap of cryptocurrency, it's an all-time high. Yeah, but it's still going to do at least a 2x if we have a decent bull run. I mean, it's going to possibly do a 3x. It could go from 4 to 12. But at least, I would say at least 4 to 9 or 10. So if it adds double, and some of that will be money pouring into Bitcoin, which, a lot of us are not invested into, but it's still, there's going to be billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars flowing into memes. This in quarter 3, quarter 4, especially quarter 4. So that's really what people have to understand. And let's hope this, I mean, you take a look at the, that's basically everything I wanted to look at. I think I looked at pretty much everything. So it's just all the normal indicators. It's the meeting. But guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you like the video down below. This is not financial advice. Thank you for watching.